everyone, this is Karen.
Hello everybody, I am Shane.
Today we're looking at part 1 of Hotpot.
It's not what you thought.
And the vocabulary words are imagine.
Imagine.
Sam never imagined that he'd be a father.
Twist.
Twist.
The band put their own twist on the famous song.
Raw.
Raw.
You should always wash your hands after handling raw meat.
Soy.
Soy.
Claire ordered a soy milk and some dumplings.
Mixture.
Mixture.
Once in the pan, the cake mixture is ready to go in the oven. So we're talking about
Hot pot.
I love hot pot. Do you like hot pots?
I love hot pot.
But did you have hot pot when you were in the States?
Well, before I moved to Asia, I didn't know what hot pot was.
Really?
So growing up, I never had hot pot.
Okay, so the first time you tried hot pot was in Asia.
That's right.
And what did you think of it?
Oh, at first I thought it was a little bit weird because I went to a restaurant and I have to cook my own food. I just felt how, that doesn't make sense.
So you could just do that at home, right?
I thought, wow, this restaurant is really smart because they make you do all the work and you still have to pay them a lot of money.
But what do you think of hot pot now?
Well, I just love it because I love eating hot, spicy hot pot.
So in Taiwan, we actually have Yin Yang, right? That's like the pot, but then you kind of divide it up into two different kinds.
Like you can have a spicy one and then like just a clear broth.
That's
for
right.
A balance, right? Ooh, but I haven't tried the Malaysian hot pot.
That one I haven't tried that one either. But I've tried, have you ever tried Japanese Sukiyaki?
Yes.
I love
really
Sukiyaki
good
too. So there's like all different kind of hot pots that you can try in different places, different parts of the world.
I'm so hungry now.
Me too.
Let's go get some hot pot.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Hot pot. It's not what you thought. If you say hot pot, most people imagine simply throwing a bit of meat and a few vegetables into some hot soup, sitting around and waiting for it to be done. While this isn't wrong, it's also not the whole story. Hot pot is enjoyed the world over as a dish to share with family and friends, and no two cultures do it exactly the same way.
Hello everyone, today's lesson is called Hot Pot Rug War. It's not what you thought. Part 1. Hello everyone, my name is Jeff.
And I'm Mike, and I'm confused. It's not what you thought is telling me that what I think might be incorrect. But how can I be incorrect about hot pot? It's a pot that's hot. You put stuff in, you cook it, you eat it. How can I be incorrect about that? I don't understand. It's simple.
Mike, you have so much to learn.
It's simpler than a hot dog even. It's a hot pot.
Hot dogs are not
Hot
simple.
dogs are complicated. Pizza is like, oh my gosh, but a hot pot, it's so simple.
We've got so much to learn today, so let's get started. Okay. If you say hot pot, most people imagine simply throwing a bit of meat and a few vegetables into some hot soup, sitting around and waiting for it to be done.
And then eating it. That's it.
That's just the beginning, Mike. Use your imagination. Yes, here we've got the word imagine. Imagination is the noun. Imagine would be the verb. If you imagine something, you see that thing in your mind. Usually something that doesn't exist in actual reality. Maybe you see the future or you imagine that. Or you might imagine a purple tree. It doesn't really exist, but you could see it in your mind if you wanted to. For example, Sam never imagined that he'd be a father. He never once visualized that in his mind before. He just didn't see it coming. But then one day, he was a dad.
Oh, all right. Well, maybe he's a dad who enjoys hot pot. All right, so let's find out where I'm all completely wrong about hot pot. It says, while this isn't wrong, It's also not the whole story.
You've got so much to learn there, Mike.
Okay, so my idea that hot pot is pretty simple isn't wrong. I am correct, but I don't have the whole story. There's much more to it than what I thought. Hot pot is enjoyed the world over as a dish to share with family and friends. And no two cultures do it exactly the same way. Okay, I'm starting to see where they're going with this. Yes, the hot pot that we think of here in Taiwan, that kind of Taiwanese, or I think it's actually Japanese style hot pot, is only one way to enjoy hot pot, and many cultures do it, and many cultures have their own twist or variation or special style of hot pot. So we're going to go on a little hot pot world tour. Sounds good.
Sounds fantastic to
Okay.
me. What also sounds good is a break. Let's go ahead and take one. We'll see you guys soon.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。冬天最适合吃火锅了。那这2天的课程就是要介绍全球各地的特色火锅。那如果你说起火锅，大多数人想象的只是把一些肉跟一些蔬菜丢进热汤里面，然后坐在旁边等它煮好。不过其实每个文化都有自己独特的方式来享用火锅，各地都有不同的变化形式。Mike 老师用到 variation 这个字 ，V-A-R-I-A-T-I-O-N 这个字可以表达某事物的变种、变化形式，也可以表达变动或是变化。那么课文单字 imagine。Imagine 是动词，它表示想象、猜想或是认为。它的名词是 imagination， 可以表达想象或是想象力。Jeff 老师在解释单字时用到 visualize， 就是在 visual 视觉的后面加上 ize， 把它变动词，可以表达想象或是使什么形象化、视觉化。那这边有一个重点是 if 引导条件句的用法。if 引导条件副词子句是表达说现在或未来可能发生的情况。那么指未来情况的话 if 子句的动词要用现在式来代替未来式。我们来看几个常用句型。第一个是 if 主词加动词，逗号主词加动词。例如 if you heat ice, it turns into water。如果你把冰加热，冰会变成水。那这边我们都是用简单式表达。第二个句型 if 主词加动词，逗号主词加上 will, can 或是 may 再加原形动词。例如 if she practices more, she may win the competition。如果她多练习，她可能会赢得比赛。第三个句型是 if 主词加动词，逗号祈使句。例如If you have any questions, just ask me。 如果你有任何问题，尽管问我吧。好，这一话课文中。
Hot pot, it's not what you thought. Hot pot is a common sight in Asia, with each country putting its own little twist on the basic formula. You could try a Taiwanese Yin Yang Pot with enough room for 2 kinds of broth. If you wanted something with a little more flavor and a lot more meat, you could try Japanese Sukiyaki, cooking your raw ingredients in its rich soy sauce, sugar, and rice wine mixture.
Okay, hot pot. There's a lot more to it than you first think or at first sight. Now, speaking of sight, hot pot is a common sight in Asia, with each country putting its own little twist on the basic formula. Everyone does hot pot in their own way here in Asia. But here we also have this word twist.
Yeah.
Are we twisting something
Kinda. As a verb, to twist is, just to turn around yourself. So you might twist a towel to squeeze the water out of it. Or a dancer or an athlete might twist their body.
You might twist the cap off a Coca-Cola.
There you go. Twist the cap off some water or a bottle that you're trying to open. But here we're using it as a noun. So here we're just talking about a special, unique way of doing something. Often when we think about food, or certainly food that is a little more famous or special, this chef makes a special type of dish. Yes, they're only making pizza, but their twist is that they put sushi on top of it or something like that. Something unusual, something special, something unique, something that makes them stand out and, be a little bit different from everyone
Sushi
else.
on pizza?
I don't know.
That's a big twist.
That's a weird twist, but some people might do it. Anyway, so the twist is something unique, unusual, or or special that other people might not do. For example, the band put their own twist on the famous song. They took Beethoven's Fifth and they played it as a disco song.
Amazing. That
Yeah,
sounds
a
like
special
a
twist.
really weird twist, like the sushi on pizza thing. Yeah. Anyways, speaking of different styles of hot pot, different ways that people do things, these twists on hot pot, let's start here in Taiwan.
Okay.
You could try a Taiwanese Yin Yang Pot with enough room for 2 kinds of broth.
Oh, okay.
You got the regular and the spicy. I love it. Now, let's say though, you want more flavor and some more meat. Maybe you should go in the Japanese direction.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that is hot pot. It has a special name, too. If you wanted something with a little more flavor and a lot more meat, you could try Japanese Sukiyaki. That's what they call this special hot pot. It says cooking your raw ingredients in its rich soy sauce, sugar, and rice wine mixture. And I believe sometimes you have a raw egg, and you might dip some things in the raw egg too. So yeah, this is hot pot, but this is called Sukiyaki, obviously from Japan. And like many types of hot pot, you do begin with raw ingredients.
They're uncooked.
They're uncooked.
Raw means uncooked.
Not cooked.
It's an adjective. There you go. You talked about sushi earlier.
Yep.
Very often when you're eating a piece of sushi, a piece of raw fish is involved. Sometimes they do cook it, but sushi is known for being raw fish and rice, whereas sashimi, I believe, is just the raw fish. Anyways, for example, you should always wash your hands after handling raw meat, especially chicken. Okay, you don't want to handle chicken when it's raw too often. Anyways, that's enough for the word raw. Let's go ahead and talk about soy.
Soy. It's a type of bean. It grows from the ground like beans do, and then we use it to do all sorts of good stuff.
Many like soy sauce?
Like soy sauce. Many beans, of course, you can eat raw, or you can cook them, put them in a salad. You could do that with soy. But with soy, you can also, do all sorts of things. Make it into a sauce, make it into tofu, probably use it on your skin. I don't know. Soy is very, very useful. Probably. And we also, of course, feed animals with soy, right?
You put soy on top of pizzas.
You could.
No,
could.
Just like you wouldn't with sushi either.
Well, you could, but I wouldn't eat it. Anyway, so soy is a type of bean that's used especially in a lot of East Asian cooking, and we can do different sorts of things when we process soy into tofu, and of course, a nice salty soy sauce. Yum. Yum. Let's look at our example sentence. Claire ordered a soy milk and some dumplings. That's right, soy milk.
Soy milk.
Enjoyable,
Delicious.
warm and cold.
It's true. Okay, now before we take a break, let's talk about the word mixture. It's a noun. When you mix things together, you go ahead and you form a mixture. A mixture is a combination, a blend of things that have come together or that you have put together. For example, once in the pan, the cake mixture is ready to go in the oven. Get eggs, flour, sugar, put it all together. You got yourself a mixture. I think there's also butter in that recipe somewhere as well. Anyways, folks, with that, it's time for us to take a break, but don't go away. We'll be back soon.
火锅在亚洲很常见，而每个国家的基本配方都有自己的一点点变化。在台湾，我们大家都很熟悉鸳鸯锅，你一次就可以品尝到2种高汤。如果你想要味道再重一点，肉要更多一点，那你可以试试看日本的寿喜烧。寿喜烧的吃法呢，是用少量的酱汁来煮生鲜食材，那它的酱汁是由浓郁的酱油、糖和米酒所组成的混合物。好，这边来看4个单字。第一个 twist， 它可以当动词或当名词。当动词有这种扭转、扭弯或是旋转的意思，那么当名词它表示转折、变化。那文中是用到名词的用法 ，put one's own twist on something， 表示对某事物做出自己的改造或是变化。再来看第2个单字 raw， 它是形容生的、没有煮熟的。Soy 它是指黄豆或是大豆，那是 soybean 的简称。Soy sauce 就是酱油，那么 soy milk 是豆浆。 好，再来看第4个单字 mixture， 它表示混合物或是混合体。混合的意思。好，那这边补充2个意思相近的字，第一个是 combination， combination 表示结合、联合或是混合。那还有一个是 blend， blend 当名词也可以表达混合或是混合物。好，那这边还有一个重点是，我们刚刚有学到 if 引导条件句，那这个段落里面呢是用到 if 引导跟现在事实相反的假设句。好，它的句型是 if 主词加上 were 或是过去式动词，逗号主词加上 would、could 或是 might 再加原形动词。那么特别注意的是 if 子句的动词要用过去式，如果要用 be 动词表达，就不管人称一律都用 were。好，我们来看2个例句。If I were you, I might do the same. 如果我是你，我可能也会做同样的事。If he had time, he would go to the movies with us. 如果他有时间，他会跟我们一起去看电影的。那事实就是他现在是没有时间跟我们去的。接回课文中。
Hotpot, it's not what you thought. On the streets of Malaysia, you can enjoy lok-lok, a type of hot pot where ingredients such as broccoli and quail eggs are served in the form of skewers. And if you aren't watching your waistline, many eateries offer to serve the ingredients deep-fried as well.
Okay, Taiwan, check. Japan, check. Let's move on to Malaysia, Malaysian-style hot pot. On the streets of Malaysia, you can enjoy lok-lok, a type of hot pot where ingredients such as broccoli and quail eggs are served in the form of skewers. Quail eggs, huh? James Bond liked eating quail eggs.
Really? Did he like them in the form of skewers?
I don't think so.
All right.
He liked them with his beluga caviar, I believe.
Oh, well, sure, of course, on pizza. Skewers, now when we're talking about skewers, this is basically something that's put on a stick, and then you cook it that way, and you might eat it that way. It's an easy thing to find in night markets, right? You can get vegetables or meat, even tofu, on a skewer at a barbecue or fried or something like that. And yes, you can have your lok-lok, your hot pot, fried. Well, at least the ingredients such as broccoli and quail eggs. It says, and if you aren't watching your waistline, many eateries offer to serve the ingredients deep fried as well. If you're watching your waistline, basically you're on a diet, right? Your waistline is your belt or the size of your pants.
If you aren't afraid of getting fat.
Exactly. If you aren't afraid of getting fat, your waistline is your belt or your pants. If you're watching it, you don't want to get bigger. You're on a diet. You're being careful that you don't eat fatty food. But deep frying stuff, well, that's kind of fatty food. So if you're kind of throwing your diet out the window because, hey, you're on holiday in Malaysia, have the deep fried lok-lok. I don't know how that works. I've never heard of this, but I'd like to try it.
Me too.
Quail eggs.
Okay, folks, with that, it is time for us to say goodbye for now, but don't go away. We'll have more on Hot Pot next time.
好，下一站来到马来西亚，在马来西亚的街道上可以享用乐乐锅。那这种火锅里的食材，像是青花椰菜啊和鹌鹑蛋等等，端上来的时候，它这些食材是会串起来的。Jeff 老师刚刚开玩笑聊到说，詹姆士庞德这个007的这一位，他喜欢吃鹌鹑蛋和一种顶级的鱼子酱。那文中说的这个 quail egg 就是鹌鹑蛋。那么老师说的 caviar caviar 它表示鱼子酱。好，那么课文最后写到说，如果你没有在注意体重，没有在忌口的话，很多小餐馆也会提供油炸食材。那这边有2个重点，第一个Watch one's waistline 或者是 watch one's weight 是用来表达注意体重，小心忌口以免发胖。那么其中的 watch 在这边是注意、留意的意思。那么 waistline 是指腰围。假设朋友问说要不要吃蛋糕，如果你怕胖不敢吃的话，就可以回答说 No thanks, I'm watching my waistline. 不了，谢谢，我要注意我的体重了。好，第二重点是 offer to 加原形动词，它表示愿意怎么样，提议要怎么样，常用来表达他说某人他主动表示愿意做某事这样。例如 He offered to give me a ride home. 他主动提出要送我回家。好，以上是今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
Hello， 各位同学，大家好，我是季安老师。我们来看一下今天的简短独白。简短独白，今天继续练习。第4题 ，What does the man mean when he says this just can't continue？ 通常你什么时候会讲到这句话？这件事情不能再这样下去了，应该是对一件事情不爽不满的时候。我们看一下 A，He's going to cancel the order。他要把订单取消。B, he's going to file a complaint. 他要提出客诉。complaint 是抱怨嘛？那抱怨这个是一个名词跟它搭配的动词通常是 file。file a complaint 就是提出这样的一个客诉提出这样抱怨。C, the situation is unacceptable. 这个状况呢是无法接受，无法令人接受。最后。The problem will end eventually. 这问题呢，最终到头来还是会消失的。Eventually. 第5个 ，What problem did Todd discover on his trip? OK， 这个trip 它的这个旅程发生什么样的问题呢 ？Packages had not been sent. 这个包装没有被送出去。B, there is an issue with the product. 产品出了问题。C.The products are overpriced. 这个产品太贵了，价格太高。最后 ，new laws are causing problems. 新的这些法规、新的法律呢，造成这些问题。最后 ，What will most likely happen next? 接下来最有可能发生什么事情 ？A. Todd will wait for Brad's arrival. 他会等到他抵达。OK。Brad will wait for Todd's package. 所以等一下谁是 Todd， 谁是 Brad 就要很清楚到底 Brad 是讲话的人还是 Todd 是讲话的人？因为这是独白，所以你一定要搞清楚对象。C. Todd will return to the Philippines. Todd 会回到这个菲律宾群岛。最后 Brad will ask Todd some questions. 他要问他一些问题。来，我们看一下这3题。
Hey Brad, it's Todd. So,
Hey Brad, it's Todd. 所以是 Todd 跟 Brad 讲话
I just got back from visiting the product factory in the Philippines, and you're right. I think we're going to have to take a look at their packaging vendor. The printing is off-center and is easily rubbed off. A lot of the packages hadn't even left the factory before parts of the labels started falling off. This just can't continue. It's either the label not properly adhering to the packaging or poor quality ink. I'm sending you a box of samples so you can examine them and let me know. After I get your assessment, I'll proceed from there.OK， 这3题呢，答案是 C、B、B。第一个，他说 This just can't continue， 就是 The situation is unacceptable， 这个不 OK， 因为他有讲到这个印刷的问题嘛。然后第5个 What problem did Todd discover on his trip？OK， 他发现什么问题？就是产品有问题嘛。他有讲到很多细节的东西但是这边因为这种考试呢，其实它不是要考你的常识，它不是考你专业知识，它是你听到一些关键字有没有办法去推理出来他们在讲什么？好，所以第2个是 B。第3题 What will most likely happen next？ 接下来会发生什么事情？他说他有寄了一些 sample 给他看嘛。好，那讲话是谁？讲话是他，对不对 ？Hey Brad，OK。好，所以 The Brad will wait for Todd's package。第3题是 B，OK。好，我们看一下这个稿子你看 Hey Brad, it's Todd. So I just got back from visiting the product factory in the Philippines, and you're right. I think we're going to have to take a look at the packaging vendor. Okay, the printing is off center, 没有在正中央。OK， 就是有一点点歪掉，有一点偏掉，而且呢 is easily rubbed off， 很容易呢就磨损掉了。好，再来 ，A lot of packages hadn't even left the factory before parts of the labels started falling off. 这个标签。完完全全都还没有离开工厂就掉了 This just can't continue. OK， 好，然后后面这边讲说 It's either the label not properly adhering to the packaging. 如果 adhere 你不知道的话，它是什么？粘住 adhering to the packaging. OK， 这个标签贴上去，它没有粘在这个包装上面 or poor quality ink， 或者是呢它的印刷的墨水这个品质不好。这些都是在抱怨，都是不好的字，对不对？所以呢，这边都是产品的问题。然后最后他说 ，I'm sending you a box of samples, so you can examine them and let me know. OK， 好，所以这样一个就知道他要寄东西给他嘛，所以 Brad will wait for Todd's package.
以上是我们今天的课程内容，我是季安老师，我们下堂课见，拜拜。
See you next time.